She's a primitive Jill. There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination and is an area in which we call the Twilight Zone.
There you have it. Sometimes what is beautiful to one is not beautiful to another. As this woman learned when she didn't really learn anything. And neither did we. Frankly, usually I try to have some kind of ironic twist or moral in these things, but I got nothing this time because that woman was hot. In the Twilight Zone.
Canada!
Hello and welcome to Indefinite Luncheon Infinite Combinations number 158, where we are exploring all of the Twilight Zone. Today, we're taking a closer look at the whole truth and the Invaders. Or, the inspiration for Liar Liar and the cutest little roly-polies. And
roly-poly.
Happy Canada Day. Oh, I'll tell you where I get that from.
Okay.
I'll tell you where I get that. I'm quoting somebody, and we'll find out today who I'm quoting. And I want to say hello to the very first person in my chat. Oh, and also, listen to that. More people in the chat. Theta of the Grid says, "Hey, Jill, I'm first. Yay. Yay, Theta." And
hey, Theta.
Hello to Matt G. With -1. Gavin Blackburn is here also. Hey, Gavin. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says kapla.
Hey, Gavin, kapla, Gorilla.
And just like you requested, I download that Norm Macdonald clip. I never saw that before. That was hilarious. Thank you for that. I know that was in celebration of Canada Day. But Gorilla's Random Thoughts also made a request, and I have fulfilled it.
Hang on a second. I got to go drown a dog.
You want answers!
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Oh, you might have heard that, but you didn't see it. But that's okay. Here we go. Let's do it again, just for Gorilla.
You can't handle the truth!
There you go. There you go. You happy, Gorilla? I did that just for you. Also, there's your channel. Everybody subscribe to Gorilla. And JD Lewis is here. He says, "Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you, too." And I know we want to get into these episodes.
For sure. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Sorry about what? Oh, no problem. You got to do what you got to do. Don't worry about me. I'll always be okay.
That's true. That is true.
So here's a, oh yeah. I had my own
Canada Day celebration. Yeah, I see it. That's great.
You see it, but I use that as a reminder. When I was a kid, this is how I knew Canada. So I'm gonna play it.
Delightful. What's the name of the villain? Snidely Whiplash?
Yes, Snidely Whiplash is his name. There's a ride in Universal Studios that is based on that character, and it's fun.
Dudley Do
It's a
Right or
water ride.
Snidely Whiplash?
The whole thing, yeah.
The whole kit and caboodle. All right.
hmm But yeah. Basically, there's an evil plot by Snidely Whiplash during the course of the ride, and it's fun.
See, it is this holiday specifically because we do have two of these you and I share, and everyone in the audience, I suppose, is that Canada got Star Trek, the original series, 3 days before America did. And I kind of see it the same way when it comes to our national holidays is that, Canada gets to celebrate first, but everyone pays attention to the 4th of July.
Oh, 1776 came a little bit before your whatever July 1st, whenever that
burned
happened.
down your capital, I will relentlessly beat
And
you.
we rebuilt it even
Yeah.
better and stronger.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's fine. And that's a Japanese thing is if you can rebuild something and make it look even more beautiful with all of its imperfections. I don't know the word, but there is a word for it. And it is more beautiful because it's been destroyed. I just want you to know we destroyed it and you had to build it again. You're welcome.
All right. So Gorilla says that is the whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Yeah. I made him a clip too. You were away when I played it.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Alan
I saw it.
Trioscillator's here.
Hey, Alan.
Yeah, but we, but we have the Bill of Rights, so I think we win.
Oh yeah, no, we're nothing but a bunch of filthy commies. We're run under the lash of a bunch of milk toast panty wastes. So yeah, but still, we did bust up your house once.
Mm.
Now we're your subservient bitches.
I remember when, presidents used to make that like a party house. They used to invite the people over and drink with them. And I don't remember
parties?
that. No, it's just I read about Andrew Jackson doing that. I don't know how.
Yeah, no, Andrew Jackson had diddy
videos
parties
of it.
before it was cool.
No, can you stop saying that?
Well, yes, I can.
Okay, so let's get to the episode because we've got the
Sure.
whole truth here. And it first aired on January 20th, 1961. It was written by Rod Serling and directed by James Sheldon. And this is one of those videotape episodes. It was filmed on videotape.
Yes. Is this the last one? Because there were like, what, 6?
I don't know. There were 6 of them. But
Okay.
I don't know. No, it's not the last one.
I think we're 4.
This is the third. Or is it 4?
It's the third one. Jeez.
Was it more than, did we do 4? I don't know.
I don't know. That's where I thought. It was just a guess.
Because we got the Night of the Meek, and we got the one with the girl, robot, who doesn't know she's a robot.
Right. So yeah, 3. You're right. You're right. You're right. This is the third one, so we're halfway through. I get really frustrated with the videotape because it looks as bad as like William Hartnell, Doctor Who. It looks awful. And it makes me climb the walls every time I see the videotaped episodes of Twilight Zone. And I'm glad that it is a dark night that we will get through.
Yeah. It's true. It'll be over eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Now we start here at a used car lot. And naturally, we will find at a used car lot a used car salesman. Look at that light. It's just popped off. And so, yeah, we're going to sell this $10 down. You got $10, you can buy a car. Get a honey from
Well,
Honeycut. So that's the name of the used car salesman.
is it Henry Honeycutt?
Harvey
Harvey.
Honeycutt. And he just finished up a sale. He's gearing up for the next one. He decides, better put down the cigar.
Well, and I thought that was funny right off the hop, is whenever the 1960s wanted to show a shrewd or shady businessman, any salesman type, they always jammed a cigar in his face.
Yeah, it's a...
Is it like a
that
trope?
is a trope. That's true. Yeah, I think so. It's kind of a caricature. Like,
Well, and now,
you know what to expect from this guy. He's going to be a shady character.
Well, and now the thing is if you want to show somebody being a shrewd or shady businessman, you shove a cigarette in his face.
Mm.
So I think like cigars, or at least nowadays, sort of signify some sort of affluence or success. Like people relax with a cigar. But if you want to show desperation, it's all about the cigarettes. It's just...
You ought to be locked in a who's cow, you should. The things that you do are completely ungood. Yeah? But if I didn't do them, then someone else would. That's a very good point, Mr. Wunsler.
Perfect.
Yeah, I just have that because I really love the Lorax. And,
I've never seen it.
Because I speak for the trees.
I don't like trees.
For the trees have no trunks.
Well, no, because they walk. Like I'm afraid of them.
Oh, no, those are ents, and they're not real.
Like trees aren't real?
No. The walking tree would be called an ent from the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay. What about Groot?
Oh, Groot. Yeah, Groot's a walking tree. But is he an ent? I don't think he's an ent because he's not in the Lord of the Rings universe.
Well, they're both fictional, so we're not really worried. I'm just making a play.
PG says, Sterling was a chain smoker. He probably thought cigars were for carnies and shysters.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is, smoking cigarettes in the 1961 was a moment of exasperation. It didn't signify a person who was less than reputable, but a cigar did. Probably a cheap cigar. Couldn't be a Cuban cigar. You still can't get Cuban cigars in the United States, can you? Are they still illegal? Are they like...
Yeah, no. They're not illegal anymore. You can get them now, I think.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think you can
good
even
for the Cuban tobacco farmers.
Yeah. When did that happen, by the way? I think that happened years ago.
Thanks, Obama. That's true. Obama made it okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it was Obama. I don't remember when it happened.
Whenever anything happens in American history, I thank Obama. The Emancipation Proclamation? Thanks, Obama. Women get the vote? Thanks, Obama.
Okay. Now you're getting ridiculous. I don't think he has a time. I don't think that Obama had a time travel device.
Well, it's not my fault. Malleable futures.
Well, now I have to figure out when this happened. So,
all right, bear with you.
Attributes it. Yeah, I had nothing to do with Obama. It's effective September 24th, 2020.
Oh, that's Trump.
Let's see. Where is it? Oh, I wanted to read it. It disappeared. I can't read.
See, I just went back in time and changed it, and then the Wikipedia changed and malleable timeline.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? I think they're banned again. I think they were unbanned for a minute and then banned again. You know what? They're still illegal. You're right.
You know, Americans, just like the push and pull. Here you go. Just kidding. I want to get back together. No, I don't. Oh, my stars. You people are so fickle.
Yeah, because I don't smoke cigars, so I don't really know.
Oh, you
I have
should.
no idea.
It's a good
Somebody
time.
tell me. JD Lewis says there were 2 drawbacks to the whole truth. 1 was shot on videotape. 2, comedy was not Serling's strength.
I would like to add a third. And while I think that the performance of Harvey is fine, I wish it were someone else.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind someone else.
Jack
Helen
Warden.
Trask later. A cigar in the hand can be used to emphasize hand gestures,
Yeah, I wish we had that clip
says Alan.
from the Outrageous O'Connor where Data is doing stand-up comedy. So I go to the doctor and I say to the doctor, and he says, "You're gonna die."
Yeah.
And I say, "I want a second opinion." And he says, "You're ugly too." But
Oh my god. Data got really annoying with that boom in that episode.
no, it was great. It was great. It's the best episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. The Outrageous O'Connor.
No, actually, I very much dislike that episode, and the only good parts were Data trying to be funny.
Well, the Rocketeer is in it.
Yeah, he's awesome, but he should have been Riker, and so I'm just upset the whole episode because of that.
I don't think. Well,
and because he's kind of I don't really like the Outrageous O'Connor's character, but we've got to talk about that some other time because we're talking about.
No, let's change it. Can you
Twilight
do slides
Zone.
for the Outrageous O'Connor?
All right, I'll be back in 4 hours.
Okay, see you in a bit. Hey, everybody. Jill's off on assignment.
Okay, so anyway, so Harvey is trying to convince this old couple that they don't want a newer car. You want this old car because it's more reliable and everything. But yeah, typically I buy older cars too, but this is everything he sells is trash. But most people don't know that until, they drive off with it and it's too late. And it kind of reminds me of Harry Wormwood from Matilda. So it's interesting you thought his name was Harry. Because when Matilda finds out her dad sells clunkers, she calls him out for being a crook because he was manually turning the mileage backwards with the drill. And
yeah, I've never seen that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he puts sawdust in the gears and he does all these kinds of tricks. And she says, "Can't you sell good cars, Dad?" or whatever. And then she teaches him a lesson. It's great. I love Matilda.
I've never seen it.
Oh, we need to read the opening narration.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to go?
Yes, but let me grab it.
Oh my.
This is a long one.
But I'll see. And the thing is that I really enjoy the salesman pitch of the I don't know the name of the lead actor. So Harvey is amazing. Like, I don't know what else he was in. He wasn't necessarily good looking enough to be in a lot, because I do think that he is a unique looking individual. However, this, as the banner already has proclaimed, is Mr. Harvey Honeycutt, an expert on commerce and con jobs, a brash, bright, and larceny-loaded wheeler and dealer who, when the good Lord passes out a conscience, must have gone for a beer and missed out. And these are a couple of other characters in our story, a little old man and a Model A car. But not just any old man, and just not any Model A. There's something very special about the both of them. As a matter of fact, in just a few moments, they'll give Harvey Honeycutt something that he never experienced before. Though the good offices of a little Mac Jick, they will unload on Mr. Honeycutt the absolute necessity to tell the truth. Exactly where they come from is a conjecture. But as to where they're headed for, this we know, because all of them, and you, are on the threshold of the Twilight Zone. That was okay. I kind of jumped over a couple of curves. Sigvaldison, good to see you. And yes, absolutely. I did write down in my notes. It's Christine. So that's
Well, you said you liked some of his sales pitch. I didn't capture any of the dialogue, so let me see if I can randomly find it.
Well, I'll tell you, son. You don't want any of those new cars. The new cars are just being run off the lot just to try and get you to buy them. They're looking at profit margins. They're not looking at relationships. They're looking to make a buck, not a friend. It's that kind of thing.
No, sir, young man, around here you can pause, exhale, check, recheck, think, peruse, contemplate, wade through, thumb over, dip into. Be my guest, folks. Thank you.
We were thinking maybe a little coupe.
A little deuce coupe.
You know your husband shocked me just then?
Well, he was.
Do you know why he shocked me? I'll tell you why he shocked me. It's because you've succumbed to the propaganda of every cement-headed clod up and down this street. I said propaganda.
Oh. Hmm.
Huh? They like to push the late models, don't they? They do, don't they? You know why they push the late models? No. You think it's because they're honest, law-abiding, rigidly moral churchgoers?
Silly. Okay. There you go. There's a little bit of it. And oh yes,
Sorry,
the Cuban cigar. The current status under the Trump administration is that importation of Cuban cigars into the United States, even for personal use, remains prohibited. This stems from September 24th, 2020, amendment to the Cuban Assets Control Regulations.
seems like a bunch of hogwash.
I feel like there was I feel like it was a fluctuating thing. That's what I found as the recent, but okay.
Well, and speaking of Canada Day, we're living through an embargo right now. I can't get a decent bourbon because apparently there's an embargo on American spirits. Like the trade wars and yeah, well, it doesn't make any sense. It's like all of a sudden I'm going to turn into a, capitalist American if I decide to have myself a little bit of Jack Daniels. Same thing. You're not going to turn into a commie if you have a high quality Havana. Like it doesn't make any sense.
PG says never trust a striped sport coat with a patterned vest.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Like pattern on pattern, stripe on pattern, it's clashing. It's terrible. This man's a shyster. I think that man on the right, like he's got a haircut that you can set a watch to and a noble chin. I like the cut of his jib, I tell you.
Yeah, and luckily for them, they don't buy a car from this place because an old man shows up with his Model A, old Ford vehicle, and the salesman immediately thinks that the old man wants to sell it, and it works. He buys it for $25, which is really only $269 in our time today. And with inflation. And so it really doesn't matter how much this thing was worth. He was, the old man's ecstatic to get rid of this thing. And he does warn him, he does tell him the truth because he has to. It is haunted. He does warn him that it's haunted. Oh wait, no, he doesn't. He doesn't warn him that it's haunted. He fills out the paperwork and then he's like, "Oh, by the way, this thing is haunted." And so it doesn't matter what it actually would have been worth at that time. I'm sure it would be worth more than $25. But it's just the idea of getting rid of the curse. And so he's just I like when he puts the like news sign on the Model A. I don't think anyone's going to believe that one, Harvey. Sigvaldison says, praise to our eldritch God, of course. He who will help all humanity upon his release. Actually, I thought he was just going to destroy everything and everyone and all of science. Not a science, but like every atom. J.D. Lewis says he was in the 1954 A Star is Born. And he's referring to the man who plays Harvey Honeycutt, Jack Carson. Is that who you mean? Jack Carson was in The Star Was Born? Jack Carson. Let's see. Well, I'm trying to find it here. Yeah. That's who he means. Jack Carson. Thank you, J.D. Lewis. Great information. J.D. Lewis also says Harvey was played by Jack Carson. Well, all I had to do was read. Sigvaldison says you could get it probably, just have to pay the tariff. Gavin also says somebody should make a Star Wars movie about the taxation of trade routes. I think that happened, didn't? Yeah, I guess that's a joke. Sigvaldison says democracy is truth, communism is death. Quote by Liberty Prime. True story. J.D. Lewis says Artie Johnson from Laugh In. Artie Johnson from Laugh In has a small part in this episode. And Artie Johnson plays Irv. That's gonna be his employee. That's gonna be Harv's employee. Sigvaldison says, will you need to worry about anything after that, Joe? He will lift our burdens from us. Just have to look at it from a different point of view. And hello to, hey, it's Courtney. Courtney's here. Hey, everybody. Hi, Jill. Hi, Scotty. Hi, chat. She says. So, basically, let's get back to the episode. He's buying this. He's signing away the car to Harvey, and he has no idea what's happening. He has no idea the curse that is befalling him. Harvey's not worried about that the car's haunted. He thinks it's a joke. And he thinks that he pretends that he's done this old man a favor, and the old man pretends that he's done Harvey a favor. Then Harvey shocks himself. He just tells the couple that he isn't pushing the car that he was selling any longer because it's a wreck, going through everything that was wrong with it. There's so much wrong with it. He just keeps going and going and going. And the problem is he's being honest now and revealing that he was lying before. So luckily he tells them that everything, luckily for the couple anyway, he tells them everything on his lot is not worth buying. None of them are fit for the road. They're all lemons. And Harvey says, everything in this lot should have been condemned years ago. I got more lemons per square foot than a fruit grower in the Salinas. And what you ought to do, you ought to hit one of those reputable places and get what you pay for and something you really like. But you shouldn't come around here anymore. And because of this, he ends up not selling a car for 3 days, just because now the car he bought, the Model A car, has cursed him with telling the truth. Of course, as I mentioned before, that this is also the plot to Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. Then, yeah, so this cute couple gets to go off and buy a good car. Hooray for them! See, the Twilight Zone does have happy endings for some people, some of the time, and so they're gonna have a car that actually works. Yes. Oh, but actually, they're just like, let's go look at TVs. So I don't know if they're actually gonna go buy a car or a TV. So then we meet now we're meeting Irv. And as you said, as JD Lewis said, Artie Johnson from Laugh-In has a small part. And here he is. Hey, Theta of the Grid. Hey, welcome. I know you were the first one in the chat. JD Lewis says the twist at the end of the episode, while topical at the time, is very dated today with its Cold War politics. I hear a lot of people have a problem with that ending. I don't. I think it's wonderful. Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs says, hi, Gavin. So, Irv is here. He's baffled. Irv is just baffled when Harvey instructs him to start labeling cars as is and not using faulty manipulative sales tactics, So he's not being normal. He's not being a normal used car salesman, and this disturbs Irv or amuses him. He's kind of bemused at this point. Then what happens is that Harvey tries to get out of going home. He wants to go play some poker, and he tries to lie to his wife, saying he has to do inventory, but he keeps saying that he's going to play poker instead.
I love how in the olden days going to play poker was tantamount to cheating on your wife.
Yeah, it sounds like this is a terrible thing apparently. Well, gambling, it can be a bad thing if you're addicted to gambling and you kind of lose all the money. So it just depends. If it's just like a monthly thing, the way this seems, where it's just like, hey, let's get together and just blow some money and drink a bit, then it's fine. It just depends if you can control yourself.
My old lady won't talk to me no more.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Courtney.
Courtney thinks you look like Irv.
Like Irv? Yeah, no, I do look like Irv. I'm taller, but yes.
He also says, "Wake up." She also says, "Wake up, Scotty." He was away. He was away for a little while.
There's like a mosh pit going on downstairs. I'm really struggling here.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
It's a national holiday around these parts, right?
Right.
I swear to God, I'm doing inventory. Actually, I'm playing poker.
Yeah, no, I understand if you need to be with family. That's why I was carrying on with the episode. I didn't stop or anything.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to make sure that Courtney was okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Courtney's cool. Also, Jacob Ironside is here.
Hey, Jake.
Harvey finally pieces together, so he finally figures things out. Harvey finally figures that he can't lie. And he shouldn't be playing poker because then he won't be able to bluff.
Speaking of Harvey, I think that this is the guy that if you press the big red button, he's the one that is unloosed upon the world.
That's a different Harvey, but
no. This is the Harvey. This is the Harvey.
JD Lewis says this episode is not awful, but the comedy is heavy-handed. Yeah, it is. It is. The cheap look of using videotape doesn't help either.
Well, and you said something very interesting in that you were like, okay, let's watch Liar Liar. Like, this is exactly Liar Liar.
This is Liar Liar. Well, and Liar Liar must have gotten the idea from this episode. They're like, oh, nobody remembers this Twilight Zone episode. Let's do this.
Yeah. No stars except for Irv.
Yeah, and they made it. They stretched it out to 2 hours, so good for them.
Courtney says, what Scotty doesn't know is that I am the most pit below. We're going to have to work on grammar, but yeah, no, I accept your application. I am the
Yeah, so
most pit? It doesn't make any sense.
Harvey, yeah, he figures out the curse that he has to tell the truth as long as he owns that car. I don't know. You say the
Can I?
humor isn't good. I think the best humor in the episode are the signs. These are cute.
Oh, mosh pit below. That makes more sense. We're good. Can I get this slide? I want this slide.
I think, yeah. Out of all the attempts at humor, this is the only one I think that does well in terms of just hilarity. Yes, I'll give you that.
Headcanon.
Screen cap. Headcanon. Welcome back, Headcanon, to YouTube. This is Appian, and swinging by
That's
to say hi.
Appian?
And thank you, Jill, for the support. Yes, he's returned to YouTube, and yeah, I'll get your
You don't have to do it
channel.
immediately. And now
Yeah,
for some code. Oh my.
well, it doesn't take too long. It
Black
never
and white
really does.
matrix.
We have time for Canon.
Appian. What
Yeah,
happened?
Appian.
What happened? Did you hit an iceberg? What happened to your Appian?
Well,
I'm not up on the
you didn't know?
No.
YouTube was an idiot. Just basically YouTube was
Again?
an idiotic. Yeah, again. Once again, YouTube was just dumb.
That's typical. Well, I'm glad that you've found a way to communicate more. That's great. YouTube happened. It's so strange. YouTube's never happened to me. Like, sure, I don't get any views. I'm on a bunch of unsuccessful channels except for this one, and Cinema Gulp, and the Phantasmagorium, and Jedi Master, and Stark of Iron. Like, aside from those are all successful channels that I'm on. But, like, all the other ones that I'm on, unsuccessful. Or at least not dependable.
Greek letters, Larson says, stop everything. I need to change my vote. How do I do that?
You can't.
You can't really. Unless you have 2 more accounts where you could cancel out your vote with one account and then pick a different vote with the
like
third
Appian.
account. Oh no. That's a bad joke.
Yeah, no, but it is accurate. Actually, Appian can't vote with his other channel because it was, whatever. Stop.
Canadian Spider-Man.
Spidey.
Who's dumber? Well,
YouTube or Canadian voters? I'm gonna go with YouTube because it's global. There's a lot more stupid people.
Good to see you both. Yeah, good to see you too, Spidey. How's it going? So we're not dependable. Let's go.
I can't.
Not ready to go.
That is a great song by the Trues.
Basically, he says there's a limit to being honest here.
Yes.
But it gets worse.
Well, it kind of gets better.
Because, it does get better. But Irv says, you haven't made a sale in 3 days. And then he said, I know this isn't really a good time, but how about that raise? And Harvey is completely honest with him. The day you get more money out of... Wait, you know what? I want you to read this.
Sure.
This is good.
The day you get more money out of me, it'll be below zero in the Fijis. Every yokel who wants to work here starts and stops at the same salary. I only dangle that raise in front of them just as long as it takes for them to get wise, Irv. Irv, for you to get more money out of me would be just about as easy as pouring hot butter into a wild cat's ear. Irv, that hurt me more than it did you. Irv, correction. I'm just reading the whole thing.
Correction. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me.
Thwap.
Punch to the face. Yeah.
Punch to the face.
Yeah. No, he doesn't even say I quit. He just does this.
Well, it's the best way. It is the best way. If you do have an opportunity to leave a job, I can guarantee you that the best way to get a reference on your next job application is to punch your current boss in the face.
That's true. He did burn this bridge pretty well and good. Not guaranteed. In poor condition.
This
But
is a
he'll probably
LinkedIn
be
profile
fine.
in the Twilight Zone.
And Canadian Spider-Man says, I do have 2 more accounts. And so we get to see one of them. Stephen Canadian Backpacker being one.
Every creator should have a couple of channels. Absolutely. You know, yeah, like Jason Bourne. Make sure you have a couple of passports.
Mm.
I
Oh, I don't even
enjoy
have
deceit. You only have one? Me too. I have another one. It's called The Critical Drinker. And so, yeah.
Oh, what? Wow, you really hide your accent well.
Oh no, no, it's all just a character. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, let's stop with that right there.
We don't need to pursue it. It's like wandering around as Bruce Wayne being like, I'm Batman. No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Also subscribe to Canadian Spider-Man. He's going to Rome this Thursday on his channel. Yeah.
Apparently all roads lead there.
So you know what day it is? Say hello to Evangeline Lilly for me.
Yeah, Evangeline Lilly. Absolutely. She's the wasp.
Did Scotty just say trues?
Yes, I did say trues. Not ready to go. No, 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 no. Not ready to go.
Great Letters Larson says, I want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, without prejudice or passion. So help me God.
Let's do it.
And hey, Christian Fandom Geek is here.
Hello. You know, Christian Fandom Geek, whenever you arrive into a chat, you should say, I am risen. Or is that blasphemous?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. So
it is blasphemous?
No.
Okay, then don't say that.
I think if you ask the question, you probably know the answer.
Yeah. I'm a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so PG has it. I have arrived is good. Just make sure your arms are outstretched as you announce it. Like Cal.
So a politician shows up and he wants to buy the Model A for a political stunt. His name is Luther. Honest Luther Grimbley. Yeah, it's funny. He calls himself honest. And Luther's ready to pay $60, but Harvey, with his honesty, talks him down all the way to $22.50. Then Luther asks if there are any strings, and Harvey is forced to admit that the car is haunted, and it'll make him tell the truth. Oh, you'll be cursed to be honest.
Great Christmas episode.
And he said, "Oh no! If I have to tell the truth, I can never give a speech ever again. I can't buy this car." And so then they decide, "Oh, you know what we should do? I got the greatest idea." So they get together and
they would put the fuggliest people on television back in the 60s. Like, look at that man. He is like, if he's like, that's his O face.
Hey, that's rude.
Well, no, I'm just saying his wife thinks so.
So they conspire. These two guys conspire together to get another politician to fall for buying the car.
Well, and they do, like, it's sort of a, why don't we get the mayor? Why don't we get the councilman? And it's like, well, what about this guy? It's like, oh
Yes.
yeah, that'd work out great.
That's good for
And so
everybody.
we're left in suspension as to who they're going to sell the car to.
Until the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and we've got to get the actual politician to sign the papers so that he actually owns it and not his assistant.
Well, and I did appreciate this sort of situation where it was like, oh, no. I don't want an underling having this car. I don't want to curse you with it. I wanted to curse someone very specific.
Yeah, Soviet leader. Oh, can I even say this name?
Khrushchev.
Khrushchev.
His first name's like
Nikita
Khrushchev.
Nikita Khrushchev.
His name is Nick for short. Hey, Nick, what's going on?
And so once the sale is final, he calls the news and asks for the president. So, I never thought it was at all controversial to say that communism is awful and bad and should be admonished at every opportunity. So this is fine.
Well,
and also,
it's pretty bad that their communism. It really, I think it goes. Jill, let's just stop this Twilight Zone conversation for 1 second and discuss our thoughts on communism. You know what? There is no such thing as 100% equality where everyone is equal. There is always going to be a power structure in the world where there are people who are in charge and there are people who follow orders, and communism falls apart because the people who are in charge will take advantage of that power, while the people who sort of are subservient to that power will believe that they are contributing to the greater good. So there is still a dichotomy of power structure between the haves and the have-nots, even in a communist or socialist representation. How do you feel?
Yeah, I agree with that. And one of the biggest examples of how bad communism is, actually, all you have to say is so many times it turns into genocide, especially currently happening in North Korea, previously having had happened, obviously, in the Soviet Union, and then also
China
Cambodia.
has genocides. Yeah.
Yeah, China too, Cambodia with Pol Pot. You just have to look at the regimes to see where having the state holding all of the power and having dictatorships basically is what happens under communism, and it's not a good idea.
I just don't think it avails every member of the population to the best possible outcome. Like, you have to have something to strive for to motivate the individual, and to call a population the collective means that you're all the same. No one can rise above their station. And so it does, it's baked into it that there is some sort of, I don't know, stagnation or, again, oppression. So
somebody's not going to want to do their difficult job if there's not going to be any benefit from them.
Can you imagine me as a communist? I would just be smoking weed and drinking beer all day. Anyway, I'm in Canada, so that is what happens.
But yeah, and then the government tries to tell you how much something has to be, and then so market fails.
Well, but you guys complain about the price of eggs daily.
And so you know what? Weird. In this episode, very seldom does the Twilight Zone mention the current president, and this was John F. Kennedy was sworn in as the 35th president of the United States at the inaugural ceremonies in Washington, the afternoon of the very day this episode originally aired. So that's where this comes from. And
the Twilight Zone took down communism in this episode. Thank you, haunted car.
Exactly. A haunted car took down communism in this
That's
episode.
True.
But in a former draft of the script, and what I'm reading from is from The Twilight Zone Unlocking the Door to a Television Classic by Grams Jr. Martin. He says in a former draft of the script, Honeycutt's phone call brought on a press conference with Khrushchev answering reporters' questions. And
No.
and they said, I wonder if you would tell us, sir, what observations you've made in your travels to the United States. How would you compare the United States with the Soviet Union? And so he said, the premier feels that, well, he seems to feel that even without a trip to Disneyland, it is obvious that the United States has a standard of living far superior to that of the people of the Soviet Union. And Mr. Khrushchev wants it understood that the car, such as it is, and it isn't much, is considerably better than that owned by most Russians.
I heard that, I think it was Khrushchev who was a huge fan of Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
But he had to conceal his affection because people were like, you can't drink that American capitalist swill. And he was like, I'm the premier of the USSR, yo. I can do whatever I want. And so they smuggled Coca-Cola to him. He was like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, exactly. There's a
It's
lot
too
of
bad I'm in
hypocrisy.
communist Soviet Union and the only thing I have is paper straws. But they didn't have
communism
plastic
also
straws.
breeds hypocrisy too. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, you have to hide all of your actions. You have to be like, oh no, I don't like that. Except for I really, really do.
Exactly.
It's like rock and roll. Remember when the communists were like, oh, we can't have rock and roll. Like back in the USSR is all about my stars, bringing rock and roll to your communist regime. Anyway, I gotta go and beat this camel with a rolled up newspaper. I'll be back. I gotta say goodbye to these little children before they die.
Okay. Can Scotty R30? Oh wait. Are you gone yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Can Scotty R37 say the message?
No.
Okay. Okay, go away then. You're useless. Just kidding. Just a follower of Jesus Christ, says Christian Fandom Geek. Yes. There's nothing more Christianic than I'll be back. Oh, Canadian Spider-Man's not a fan of Mary. Okay. Mary is lovely, but she's not God. Yeah. Mother. She's mother. Greek Letters Larson says, I'm a registered member of the Lucifer Fun Club. And only cis Jill in absolutes. And Spidey says Jill is right. And PG says Khrushchev was later demoted into retirement by the party for being a bit too reformist, ironically. And and so I read that that extra script, what was originally in the script that was cut from the script, because a lot of people think that the end of this episode is too political, but it used to be way more political, and so they cut out the part that got more political. Gavin says that he would live under communism as long as he could be the dear leader. Greek Letters Larson says that some of my listeners are Marxists, so I need to chill out. Well, I can now. I'm done. I think I'm off my. I think we talked enough about it at this point. PG said, well, I guess I got to read the chat though. The best government in theory is benevolent dictatorship. In theory, yeah, but if it's just good on paper, then it's not good at all, is it? The fatal flaw is that he dies and is replaced by someone not benevolent. Canadian Spider-Man says, I've been to most communist countries. I don't recommend what I saw there. The cult of personality. Yeah, that's what happens exactly. Elect John Gill for a stronger Ecosia, says Gavin. Superman ages too, says PG. And hey Christian Random Geek. And hello, good morning to DJ Play Nice. Also good morning to, well, good afternoon to Daniel's Hot Topics. It's 3 minutes to noon. Happy Canada Day. I am so excited. Going to Fergus later to watch the fireworks and maybe shove some donuts in my mouth. Ooh, wow, it sounds like you got your day planned. Great. Yes. The goal of socialism is communism. Yeah, that is a slippery slope to that. Absolutely, Canadian Spider-Man. Superman ages but will never die, says Canadian Spider-Man. And oh wait, you know what? I forgot. I finished this episode, but I forgot to read the closing narration. Couldn't happen, you say. Far-fetched. Way out. Tilt of center. Possible. But next time you buy an automobile, if it happens to look as if it had just gone through the Battle of the Marne, and the seller is ready to throw into the bargain one of his arms, be particularly careful in explaining to the boss about your grandmother's funeral when you were actually at Chavez Ravine watching the Dodgers. It'll be a fact that you are the proud possessor of an instrument of truth manufactured and distributed by an exclusive dealer in the Twilight Zone. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. Yeah, right. So you're actually at a game, but you're trying to tell your boss that you're at your grandma's funeral. My card doesn't make me tell the truth. It just makes me curse. Ah. You're cursed to curse, PG. Scotty's gone to the mosh pit, says Gavin. And Eris218 says, hello, how's it going? Hello. We are finished with our first episode. We talked about the whole truth. And I'll play Gorilla Random Thoughts clip one more time before we fully move on to the next one.
You want answers!
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
So that's for Gorilla, specifically requested. And we're going to move on to the next episode called The Invaders. And this one is so much fun. And it's coming up in just a little bit. There's just a couple of slides here. There it is. The Model A Ford. And Eris is saying hi to everyone. Hello. Also, Sentai Ranger Donnie's here. Hey. Great to see ya. I wonder why that's not working. Let's restart it. I'm going to restart my bot. It's not doing what I want. PG says, a good promo for a dentist. You can't handle the tooth, but we can. That's cute. So The Invaders first aired on January 27th, 1961. It was written by Richard Matheson and directed by Douglas Hayes. Jacob Ironside loves this episode. Me too. Me too. This is fantastic fun. And we only have one on-screen actor for this episode, which is Agnes Moorehead.
You
Moorhead?
can't handle the
Oh.
truth.
What the heck? I think my
This is a
my-
man or a woman who loves making potatoes using dull
Yeah,
knives
she
and
has-
far too much crockery.
Yeah, I was thinking that's a really big. Yeah, she's got a really big.
Well, no, but I don't
Well-
understand. She uses a cutting board. She cuts up the potatoes. I assume they're potatoes.
Yeah,
and
they
then
look
she
like
puts
potatoes, I
them
guess.
into a bowl, or turnips. Maybe at worst case scenario, they're turnips. And then she puts them into a bowl just to carry them less than a foot and put them in the cauldron. And it's like, why are you dirtying another dish?
Oh, I cook like that too, where I
Really?
pull out every pan that I need. Yeah, like yeah, no, whatever I need, I'll take it out.
Maybe you should move to
I'm
her
not afraid.
planet.
Yeah. Oh, here's the opening narration.
Are you
And
going to
you
do
can
it or
read
am
the
I?
closing.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we're switching it up for this one.
Okay. Sounds good.
This is one of the out of the way places, the unvisited places. Bleak, wasted,
Frequently
dying.
visited by transporter beam.
This is the farmhouse. Handmade, crude. A house without electricity or gas. A house untouched by progress. This is the woman who lives in the house. A woman who's been alone for many years. A strong, simple woman
Woke.
whose only problem up until this moment has been that of acquiring enough food to eat. A woman about to face terror, which is even now coming at her from the Twilight Zone.
So, one of the things, okay, this is the first episode. Usually I'm crunched for time to watch the Twilight Zone episodes before we broadcast
Yeah.
our weekly Twilight Zone. And so usually I punch it up to 1.25 just so I can get there quick. When I started watching this episode, I had seen approximately a minute of it, and I pumped it up to 1.5. Then I pumped it up to 1.75. Then I went to the poll and said I far prefer the whole truth. Then I came back to continue watching this episode, put it up to 2. So I watched this episode of The Twilight Zone on double speed, and I have to say, I think it made it better. Simply because it is a perfectly silent performance, and she is amazing. I cannot imagine sitting through this episode in 1-to-1 speed when it first broadcast. I would be so bored. I would flip
it's
the
the
channel.
And the thing is, Richard Matheson, I'll quote it more specifically later, but he agrees with you in terms of the pacing. But
Like,
I
there-
like it.
she-
I think it builds tension.
My biggest problem, and the reason that I jacked the speed on it, was she responds to the sound of the spaceship descending for far longer than the spaceship sound exists in the episode. She's still clutching her ears like 45 seconds after the spaceship
That's
landed.
because she's trying to guess. Well, what I'm thinking is that did I really hear that? Did that really happen?
I think
And
that the
I better
production
check
needed
that
more
out.
sound. It didn't have to be the ear-piercing squeal of the spaceship. It could have been mechanical noises. It could have been marching. But also, having said all of that I just said, I do think I prefer this episode. I watched it in
Yeah.
double speed. It looked like an old-timey video from the 1920s where they hand cranked the projector and everything like that. Like, it's going at 2 times the speed, so it looks like, Keystone Cops. But this episode is actually quite amazing.
It is. And apparently Richard Matheson said he had more happening in his story. So they didn't do everything in his story. So I need to read it to see what was missing. That would have
Yes,
made this episode even better because
I would like that.
Without dialogue, you need a lot of visual elements, and apparently it would be I need to read it to be able to
What's
tell
it called?
what's
What is it
missing here.
called? Is it called The Invaders?
Is it called The Invaders? His story? Richard Matheson.
Or is it
I
called
don't
The
know.
Dinklages?
Okay, so I think the actual story was called. Let's see. No, I
The
gotta
Smurfs.
find it.
Okay, well, we'll find it. If anybody in the chat knows too, we're not alone here. We are a team.
I
of the
forgot to
Twilight.
write that part down, or maybe
Yeah, I know.
it's in my notes somewhere.
Where's David Vincent? It's a good question. I'll do you one better there, Gavin Blackburn. Who is David Vincent? Do you know who David Vincent is?
No, do I need to?
I don't know.
I thought I
Gavin
just
Blackburn.
needed to know who Agnes Moorehead is. That's basically
Agnes?
all I have to know about is Agnes. But if anybody wants to educate me further on anything in the chat, I'd be appreciative of that. I'd like to say hello to Entropy Manor, who says space potatoes just work better that way.
Yeah.
Space potatoes.
Oh,
Who's
wait.
playing with the transporter? You're gonna break it.
No, it's fine. But thank you, Greek letters. I appreciate it. Maintenance and all that jazz. Jill, did you see the trailer for Project Hail Mary?
No.
Okay, so it's by the
what's that?
same, I think it's by the same storyteller as Martian, that Matt Damon Mars movie. Did you see that?
Yes, I did see the Martian.
Same
Good
guy
movie.
writes this, and it looks like it's going to be entertaining and fun. Big space movie. Looks
Cool.
original.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
When does that come out?
Later.
Later?
Not today. Yeah.
Not today.
I'll let you
Okay,
know.
well,
You just found out about it, and now you're like, oh, I want it on Blu-ray.
yes. Well, we don't get a whole lot of science fiction. Last thing we got
Sure.
was some generic science fiction, The Creator, last year.
I didn't see that. Did you like it?
It was okay. Yeah, like if you're a beginner science fiction fan and you've never seen science fiction before, then that's a good start. It's
Well, I do like I like that director.
it's pretty.
Play the clip.
Oh, I should.
Yeah, no, you have to. I didn't ask. It's Canada Day. You have to do everything a Canadian asks of you, except, within reason. Keep your
I want to keep this one a long time. He's pretty.
There you go.
DJ Play Nice says, I listened to almost everything non-musical at 2 times speed. Couldn't view
Huh.
as much as I do without it. Sometimes 2 times on 2 devices simultaneously. It really helps cover ground.
Yeah, but there's this is part of the reason I am an advocate for physical media, because I enjoy owning a copy of something that I know I will always have access to. But I also really enjoy waiting Like the cinematic experience, waiting for a movie to come out, sitting in the theater, like not being tied to the runtime
Be
of
right back. I
something.
forgot something.
Yeah, no, I'm expounding, so sorry. But no, I do agree with you that there is value in it, and I've always toyed with it. It's only, and I do it like 1.25 speed on the Twilight Zone because I figure I can plow through these in 17 minutes. It's not going to be that big of a deal. And when the dialogue gets snappy, like I do have to slow it down and be like, okay, enjoy the moment. But yeah, I can see how going through 2 times speed is beneficial, but I don't do it all the time. I usually only do it on the Twilight Zone. And I do enjoy being introduced to waiting and quiet moments when a filmmaker is pausing with purpose. And so I don't like, even there's a great moment from the Grammys when River of Dreams by Billy Joel was being performed. Before that, Frank Sinatra had performed, and they cut off the end of his performance. I forget what song. And for a commercial. And so in the midst of Billy Joel's performance of River of Dreams, there is expanding pauses throughout the song. And in the final pause of the song, he was like, all right, we're just going to waste some time for some potential advertising. And sat there for just a couple seconds just to mess with the producers who had screwed up Frank Sinatra's Grammy performance. Thought it was hilarious. Thought it was delicious. That's why Billy Joel is one of my heroes. Thumb the nose at the man, I tell yous. So, New Jersey represent. So, let's see the 5th. I will be in a rental car. Yes. I had no reference because I was expounding for a little bit. I don't know where we left off. Anybody want to remind me where we were? It's Canada Day. It's a party. You got to get down on Canada Day. Who's your favorite Canadian, chat? Anybody want to talk about their favorite Canadians of all time? I think now's a good time. It is Canada Day. And here's the only rule. You can't say Shatner. You can say anybody else, but you can't say Shatner. Why? Arbitrary rule. No reason you can't. You can say it, but I'm going to be like, what? I told you. No. So, yeah. See, PG gets it. Christopher Plummer is your favorite Canadian. That is a good answer. Christopher Plummer, from The Sound of Music to General Chang. Obviously, I was going to bring up the Star Trek thing. He was, didn't he play Rudyard Kipling in The Man Who Would Be King? He was amazing in Inside Man. Like later Christopher Plummer is amazing. Younger Christopher Plummer is amazing. I am a fan. And yes, he is in, I would say top 5 favorite. DJ Knight says, Jim Carrey. Well, I do like Jim Carrey, although Jim Carrey is one of those guys where you kind of understand what Quentin Tarantino is saying when he's like, I'm only going to make 10 movies because the latter part of their career, it doesn't look so good. Like, I've never seen a Sonic the Hedgehog film, and I don't intend to. If people like it, that's good. I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying, no. The only reason I saw Mr. Popper's Penguins is because my mom was watching it on, the Hallmark Channel or whatever it was. So, yeah, no, I'm not into Jim Carrey, but I do appreciate the flashpoint of Jim Carrey. Like when you've got your...
sorry about staying
we're not
away
even
for
talking
so
about
long.
the Twilight Zone anymore.
We
Sorry.
haven't even... That's okay. That's okay. I've got to say hello to File 13. We will get back to it. We're just having a little chat before we get back to the episode.
I was having a monologue. It wasn't a chat. No one else was helping. In fact, I think that a lot of people didn't like it. It's no big deal.
No, it's okay. Well, you were talking about Jim Carrey, so I figured this was a good time to interrupt.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Gavin Blackburn says David Vincent, star of the Invaders TV series. I have
Gavin,
not
is
seen
he
the
Canadian?
Invaders TV series.
I didn't know. I've never seen the Invaders television show. And is
I
David
think it's a
Vincent
British
Canadian?
thing.
Well, no, Jill, the
Or
thing was, the reason we were talking about Jim Carrey is because I was asking everybody in the chat what their favorite, who their favorite Canadian was. And then I made a proviso. I said, you can't say Shatner. So who is your favorite Canadian? And you can't say Shatner. And also, you can't say me.
Oh, okay. James Doohan?
That's a good one. That's a very good one. Not only
You played one. You played one today. You played Norm Macdonald. I mean, you had me play it.
Yes, I requested that. Yeah. Like
Oh,
Norm
yeah, we can
Macdonald.
play it again.
Oh, come on. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's better than the episode we're watching right now.
Which is, we're not watching it. Let's see, where is it? There it is.
So there you have it. Sometimes what is beautiful to one is not beautiful to another. As this woman learned.
You gotta share the screen, lady.
Well, she didn't really learn any.
That you didn't share the thing. There. Thank you for your patience, everyone.
So there you have it. Sometimes what is beautiful to one is not beautiful to another. As this woman learned when she didn't really learn anything. And neither did we. Frankly, usually I try to have some kind of ironic twist or moral in these things, but I got nothing this time because that woman was hot. In the Twilight Zone.
And that's the thing. Like, I have really appreciated Norm Macdonald for a long time, and he is a proud Canadian, or was, before he relinquished his citizenship through the method of death.
So, Great Letters Larson says Canada Day. Does that mean you'll finally invade Canada?
I did invade. I'm occupying it, Greek Letters. I'm doing it for everybody else. If you want to meet me here, we can take over.
Canadian Spider-Man is flying his flag upside down today in distress.
Oh, don't, man. You know what? Don't. Actually, that reminds me, I have to go and fly my flag. I thought it would be hilarious and yet also dangerous. I was thinking that we would fly the Stars and Stripes. And I was like, no, that's kind of treasonous. I don't want to do that. I thought it would be hilarious, but also the patriotism in me was like, no, don't fly another country's flag in your home. That's treasonous. And I was
you
like,
could
okay,
do both. You could do both flags.
Well,
as long as you do one.
I know, but I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't have dual citizenship or anything like that. It seems it's also an offense to your flag. Like, for me to claim your country, like, that's fucking weird. Sorry about the swear.
I don't know. You're. I think you're thinking too much about it.
Oh no, not me.
Daniel's Hot Topic says if Walmart is still open, I might go get myself a copy of the Twilight Zone on DVD. It's only $19.99.
Oh, if that's a complete series on DVD for $19.99, you should run. Don't walk.
Yeah, but if you can afford it, get the Blu-ray.
Me one.
If you can afford it, get the Blu-ray because the Blu-ray apparently it has lots of stuff.
Come on, you don't need, like, I understand if you have like a 4K player and all that jazz. I am so happy with just having the DVD. And what trained me is Deep Space Nine and Voyager. Like, there's no Blu-ray for them. So I'm okay with having
I would buy it if it did exist.
Oh, of course, but it doesn't.
It does for the Twilight Zone, and apparently it's really beautiful. And from what I
Well,
hear,
but Twilight Zone is television history. You can probably get Blu-rays of I Love Lucy. I don't know. Would you ever get the Blu-rays of I Love Lucy?
no, but I would for the Twilight Zone. PG says
Yes.
Christopher Plummer is my favorite Canadian. Oh,
Yeah.
and Daniel's Hot Topic says favorite Canadian actors are Jim Carrey and Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is questionable in his Canadian.
And
I think Keanu's more international. I wouldn't, as a Canadian, I wouldn't claim him. I think Keanu Reeves is international.
Jacob Ironside says Canada Day sounds a little pretentious. Just kidding. Favorite Canadian, Gordon Lightfoot.
Gordon Lightfoot, excellent choice. Poet, songster, guitarist. If you could read my mind, what a tale my thoughts would tell. What an amazing song. Gordon Lightfoot rocks.
Ewan did lose a finger at Normandy. This is true.
Yes, but not the important one. He lost like the tip of his ring finger, or maybe his ring finger entirely. Was it on his right hand? I think it was his right hand, so he can still wear a wedding band. That's good news.
And just to let you guys know, Jacob Ironside and JD Lewis, I'm going to read episode-specific comments when we get back to the episode.
What are we doing? When do we go live?
Oh. It bothers me when I see someone flying another country's flag above the U.S. flag here. Yeah, it's not supposed to be above. If you're going to do that, it has to be below.
Well, and that's the thing, is that I don't want to disrespect the American flag. The way I'm making it sound, it's like, oh, why not both? I mean, it's like, yeah, but if I put the Canadian flag above the American flag, that's disrespecting the American flag. You can't do both at the same time, unless you're on a boat or something.
Yes, crazy amount of bonus goodies in there. Entropy Manor says the Blu-rays of the Twilight Zone are totally worth it.
Yeah, but the DVDs are the same stuff. I know it's a crisper picture. Maybe you have 5.1 surround. I don't know if they did an adaptation.
Then that's the question. Do they have the same special features? And I don't believe so.
Well, okay. Plummer also famously great in Richard Matheson's Somewhere in Time. There's a Twilight Zone connection for you. Is Somewhere in Time, is that the one with Christopher Reeve and Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman? Somewhere in Time?
Yeah, you can fly another country's flag to show support. I fly Australian flags on January 26th.
Yeah, man, I always forget Australia Day, but I did really like Australia Day. It was crazy. I was sober the entire day, and I'm glad, because my stars, what a pinball machine Australia is on Australia today.
So, Canadian Spider-Man says the best Canadian famous person is Michael J. Fox.
Really? Okay.
There are lots of great Canadians, but let's get back to the Twilight Zone.
No, wait. I don't want to just, it sounded dismissive when I was like, really? Like, out of all the Canadians that you could choose, living or dead, I think Gordon Lightfoot is dead, I think. Like, Leonard Cohen, better than, like, I don't even like Leonard Cohen, and I think that Leonard Cohen inspired, like, I love Michael J. Fox. He's great. But am I going to put him in my top 5 Canadians of all time? No. I'm going John Candy before I go Michael J. Fox.
So we're getting back to this episode. She's the main character. She's all alone. I remember this being, so this is a very quiet episode. This is one I've seen before and one that I remember. It's kind of funny to take a look at the transcript. It just says,
Oh, can I do a reading? Never mind. I realized I just thought about what they would sound like, and I was like, no, Scott, don't.
Well, I just did it anyway.
Yeah, that's true. You can rewind that. Clip it.
So Buck Houghton looked to Douglas Hayes to pilot a difficult episode. So he wanted Agnes Moorehead, an actress during her long career, played everything from Orson Welles' mother in Citizen Kane to Elizabeth
Huh.
Montgomery in Bewitched.
She
The
was.
reason I
Oh wow.
The reason I suggested her, says Hayes, was that she had done a radio show called Sorry, Wrong Number, which was a half-hour tour de force where she used nothing but her voice. And I said, here's a half-hour tour de force where the woman doesn't use her voice at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually confusing to her. She said, she looked at me very curiously when she came in, Hayes recalls. I said, what is it? She said, well, I've been reading the script and I've been trying to find my part. There was only so she couldn't she had to figure out how to play it without having anything to say. So
Her confusion is evident.
yes. Yes,
I
she
think that this is a brilliant idea for an episode. I'm curious if there is a remake of this episode. But
I'm not sure.
I
But
like this episode, but I just wish it was with a physical performer, not a orator. Hey, Brogu.
Broku's here. Hello. Yes. So yeah, what I just read came from the Twilight Zone companion, Mark Scott Secree. Making sure to credit that.
Sure.
She chose to, and this one is from the Unlocking the Door. This is more Douglas Hayes. Where he says, it turns out she had been a student of mine, of the mime. She had been a student of the mime Marcel Marceau. She
Yes.
chose to play the part like an animal under attack. Her performance built beautifully and got more animalistic as she was being attacked. She made sounds when angry and whimpered when hurt, but she never uttered a word.
I think her close-ups are more effective than the wide shots showing her going
Mm.
around. And also at the end when she busts the hell, like, spoilers, when she busts the hell out of the spaceship with an axe. Like,
That's
I thought
fun.
that
That one reminds
fun.
me of Office Space.
Oh,
It's
is that
really
why you
great.
said that? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes. So she's making some soup, and it's really foggy for some reason. I don't usually when I make soup, it's not so foggy. It's like the witch's brew or something going on. Like they drew some dry ice in there or something.
Well, but like it is a difficult thing, and I do enjoy when I see something that is intended to be hot. How do you convey heat visually? Whenever I see like steam coming off of something, if you use too much of the dry ice, yes, it looks like a witch's brew. But if you measure it or whatever, I don't know how it works. But if you make it look, it looks like steam. Like when I see a cup of coffee with a little wisp of steam off of it, it's like, oh, that's hot. And I understand the witch's cauldron. Anyway, that was an over-analysis of cooking on the Twilight Zone.
But I guess it's okay. It's space soup.
It is true, but spoilers. This ain't her.
Yeah. Well, you. Yeah. Well, spoiler alert for one of the most famous Twilight Zone episodes. I think it's okay.
Is this famous?
Yeah, this one's a big one.
I've never heard of this one before in my life. I watched it at 2 times speed. Maybe I should absorb myself in the tension.
This is a big, huge one that's played over and over on TV. Jacob
Well,
Ironside says
it's got the mom from Bewitched, of course.
Yeah, the Invaders' guns. You can tell it's just Christmas tree light. JD Lewis says this is a great episode with a great score by Jerry Goldsmith.
Is this a Jerry? I thought we were done with Jerry.
I thought we were done too. Was this a Jerry Goldsmith? Well, I don't remember reading that myself. Yeah,
I'm looking it up.
The one thing I didn't do was get the credits at the end. I knew I should have done something.
Well, don't worry about it. I've got the power of the internet at my hand.
Okay.
I feel like Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I looking for? Found it, but what am I looking for? Oh, soundtrack,
whether or
Jerry
not,
Goldsmith. It
yeah.
is featured music, original score by Jerry Goldsmith. I thought we were done with Jerry. You told me last time that we were done with Jerry.
Actually, I didn't tell you we were done with Jerry.
I thought you did.
No.
Then
I never
I'm
said
mistaken. That. But congratulations,
I
Jerry
said
Goldsmith. This
I
is
said
a very
that you might have gotten that mixed up with when I said that the Lost in Space was done with John Williams doing a whole score
Jesse
for
Johnny Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's probably it. Everybody should go and subscribe to Jedi Master because he's, aside from last night when we had an incredible Spaceballs conversation, Mondays he usually does, what's it called? Lost in Space with the Danger Will Robinson. And so, yeah, maybe I was mixing it up with this and that. So, yes.
Yeah, and speaking of the spoiler with the the spaceship, and here's the trivia
nice.
here from J.D. Lewis, who says the director, Douglas Hayes, has a cameo as the voice of the astronaut in the end. Yes, he does.
Super.
Actually. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. And speaking of flags, patriotism is the last refuge of the scoundrel. Huh?
Not if I don't look up. To quote the great rebellious Jyn Erso.
Patriotism can be a good thing. I guess so.
No, I guess so.
PG's my favorite episode of Mimes Everywhere, says PG.
I think his silent performance is admirable. I think I was dismissive at first, but watching it at 2x speed, it looked so old-timey. It looked like how you would project Frankenstein kind of thing, or like Phantom of the Opera from 1925. And it was all herky-jerky and everything like that. And it got much, much better. I really, really liked it. And I don't know if I'm being disrespectful. Jake says,
no, you're
acting
not.
without words is a lost art today. True.
Fun fact, Christopher Plummer hated The Sound of Music, but loved Star Trek VI. Oh, man of great taste.
Well, have you ever seen The Sound of Music?
Yeah, I have. It's not bad.
I've never seen it. I tried to once and I fell asleep. Like you get into it and you already know it's like longer than World War II.
Yeah. So anyway, she's interrupted from her soup making by so
her terrible, terrible alien soup.
Yeah, she hears humming, buzzing sound, and she looks up, and it hurts her.
And then it continues to, even after it stops.
Yeah,
like,
she
I guess
even
that's
goes under the table.
Well, she's all willy-nilly with an open flame all throughout this shack.
Yes. She is. She dives under the table, and someone's on the roof, and it's not Santa Claus. And so she goes to check it out.
Did you write that down?
Yes, I did.
Delightful.
Since the buzzing stopped, she looks around. She's finally there's a lot of investigation. I thought she was going in the attic, but it's actually the roof. So we're actually on the roof of her house.
Is it the roof? I thought it was the attic too.
I don't know. It feels like it's outside as soon as I get here, because it is a spaceship, obviously, so it is the roof. And she hears the beeping sound. She sees it, and it's the spacecraft from Forbidden Planet.
Is it the same one?
It's one of the mini models. Yeah.
Nice.
And so yes, of course, Forbidden Planet stuff is used all throughout the Twilight Zone. And this is
Well,
one
and
of
that's
those.
also, I do appreciate the hatchway, the door that is obscuring where it actually has its identification. What are you doing?
I am playing a bit.
Okay, play a bit. You probably told me what you were doing, and then I was like, what?
No, I didn't. I didn't
I saw a
inform you at all.
door. I like the door.
Oh my goodness. I can't
No,
get it
Brogu,
exactly
you're
where
not
I want it.
wrong. Brogu, you're not wrong. She looks like she's doing a scene from the Clampetts from the Beverly Hillbillies. Well, no, she does. She looks like Grandma. Is that her name? Oh, that was cool. You know what? When that first happened, I thought they were going to do some like miniaturization stuff and just have regular looking people. When it turned into like Tinker Toys, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It reminded me of Toy Soldiers or Small Soldiers with Tommy Lee Jones and Kirsten Dunst. I think Dennis Leary's in that film. It's about a bunch of small toys.
Yeah,
Taking over town. It's like
these are so
it's like
cute.
Gremlins.
Yeah, it is like Gremlins. They're adorable, and they're in their little spacesuits. They're silver spacesuits. Yeah.
But apparently, like, and this is one of the best
Apparently,
parts
it was
about.
gold, actually, but
Well,
yeah.
but the special effects for it when they like do the little pew 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 pew, and she responds as if she's actually being mildly inconvenienced by whatever sort of electronic pulses are being shot at her. It's like, okay, yeah, no, this is painful, but it's not really stopping me. The only thing that really stops her is, that knife that was cutting space turnips.
Hmm. Well, and these are actual little figures, so she can interact with them. She can kick them. She kicks one into the house,
She
and
does.
yes, there she is being inconvenienced.
But also, since we've already addressed spoilers, how does a man fit into that? Can we go back and look at the little guy? So anyway,
It's
okay, I
inflated.
get it.
It's
What? Go ahead.
inflated for a reason. So this is
Yeah, it's
from the
probably
companion.
atmospheric. Sure, but why does he have like a mouth tube? Why does a
Well,
man need a mouth tube?
okay, so I'm going to read from what Douglas Hayes did when he designed this. I didn't want to do this with process photography or with tricks a la Dr. Cyclops or something. And by having them that size, she was able to grab them physically and hurl them across the room, which made it far more interesting than if you were using process and she couldn't really touch them. These characters were made, oddly enough, by the makeup department. They modeled them from my drawing, which was sort of based on the Michelin Tire Man. The reason I made them this kind of bulky, round shape is that, first of all, they should not look like human beings, but secondly, after the fact, you had to say they were human beings. Aha! And therefore, they were in inflated spacesuits, right?
Sure.
That's his explanation. That's the
Well,
director.
that's fine.
Yeah. The whole thing,
So we need it to be
yeah.
tangible, and it needed to be big enough so that the audience would recognize it no matter what. It also has to move. And so, yeah, no, we've got we're taking whatever. What do you want from us? Sure, the spacesuits look like little Pillsbury Doughboys. Is
Yes.
that honestly the point where your suspension of disbelief is lost? Is when these human people who launched a flying saucer into space landed on a planet of giants, but their spacesuits look stupid. I'm sorry for bringing it up in the first place. I need to have a cigarette. I'm excited.
I think they're adorable. They're so cute. Wait a minute.
They are.
Before you
Yeah,
have a
no.
cigarette, you have to
Yeah.
see the cute little alien. And so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I want to see
play.
the cute little alien. Sure.
Yeah, okay. Okay, good. And then you can have a cigarette.
Great.
So here.
Hey, there he is. I forgot the antenna went all the way around too. Like that's not an alien though. That's one of us.
I know, but
We decided to go to space looking like a potato.
Scott, if we're on another planet of giants, we are the alien. We're still the aliens.
I guess so. Yes, that's true. That is science. Now
And
can I
we
have a
are
cigarette?
yes. Yes,
Great.
now that you saw the little spinny antenna.
Now that
you know.
yes, I'll have mashed potatoes, please.
Okay, so I'm going to read this from the companion. The figures that were crafted were made of foam, rubber, and painted gold to give them a metallic sheen. Watching the episode, one would assume they were given movement by some internal mechanism, but this wasn't the case. Hayes reveals that there was a slit up the back of each figure through which a person could insert his hand. To walk, the person put his fingers in the hollows of the legs. To raise the arms, the fingers went in there. Consequently, the figures could not move their arms and legs at the same time. A little ray gun was made to light up by running wire to an external battery with a button on it. The same was done with an antenna on one of the creature's heads. To disguise the arm sticking out of the back, Hayes claims that the operator wore a black sleeve, making it invisible against a dark background. And he should know. He was the operator. So these are little puppets. Not only are they adorable, but they're little puppets. Why does he have big woman thighs? Okay. Earth 218, have to go. Have a good one. Take care. Later, everybody. See you later, Eris. Thank you so much for visiting today. It was very good to see you. Oh, I'm trying to click on this chat, and the chat's not chatting. Here we go. Gavin Blackburn says, I shot an arrow in the air. Would have been much better than starring these. Oh, I shot an arrow in the air. Would have been much better starring these guys. Yes. Healthy space travel at any size. Oh. Yeah. I'm sorry, but the little toy looks like he's emasculating the male species. But I'm pretty sure that he's smaller. Well, he's smaller on the inside. Too much sugar and carbs on board that saucer. Patronaut. Anyway, that's funny. Good comments in the chat about the little space alien. And she throws her lantern to make the alien fall off the roof. And she goes back into her house. Gosh, and I do understand what Scotty's saying about wanting to. Well, I don't know if he had to play it at 2x speed, if he was running out of time, or if he just wanted to at a certain point. She goes back into her house. She hears the pitter patter of the little alien feet. She climbs down from the ladder to the ittiest, bittiest, cutest little weapon ever, and she plays with it. Like, she doesn't like play with it, but she investigates it. And I'll play that bit. That's here in 9:35. Okay, here it is. Oh, okay. So Brogu says, I guess he's just big boned. I think it's just the suits were just made that way to hide the fact that they're human. We never actually see the astronauts on the inside. So are they really obese astronauts? That is a good question, actually. Hmm. There must be a Thule version of these spacesuits. A toy version. Yes. Yes, there is a toy. There is a toy version of this. These little guys. And then she sniffs it. I was trying to get a different part of this clip. Luckily, she doesn't make it go off when she pulls it to her face. Then she'd have welts all over her face. So she drops it when it hurts her, and she gets all these welts all over her hand, her arm, and then she touches the ones that are on her chest also that she got from earlier. I want a toy Invader. Yeah, well, so do I. I gotta get this toy if it exists. It is. It does. It's on Amazon. But I mean, my problem is that I'd want one with the little antennae moving. This is a pretty serious weapon for such a tiny little weapon. It really hurts her. Like, I know it's just like mosquito bites to us, but it's serious if she was not so big. But for a giant, yeah, they're mosquito bites. I mean, not to us, but to her, to the giant alien. And so she grows. And this is the part where she carries candles from room to room as her only light source everywhere she goes, and she just stumbles over candles and drops candles, and nothing ever catches on fire. She's so lucky that in that regard. And just, I think there are a lot of good sounds. All the little beeping sounds the aliens make. And despite how cute and small these aliens are, you can really feel her anxiety. And it's very convincing. She grabs a candle to be her light, and she grabs a sort of paddle to use as a weapon. This paddle spoon thingy. And the music does everything to direct the tension. So it definitely makes sense that this is a Jerry Goldsmith. I definitely understand that. And so she unlocks the front door. And it's and what does she see? Trick or treat. Wouldn't you give him some candy? No, wait. We're supposed to smack him with the paddle, but I don't want to. Here it is.
Who, me?
No, the alien. No, they're
Oh,
little.
well, no, I guess they are aliens, yeah.
Yeah, see, well, you can say the twist over and over again, I feel like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spoilers from 1961.
No,
Man landed on the moon? No way.
Oh, come on. Where is this? Oh, I wanted this. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
I also like this part. Oh, where is it?
So you said you only wanted one if it had the rotating dish on the head. And I agree that it should only have the light up whatever weapon it is. Like, I think it should be remote controlled.
Yeah, I think so too. That would be so. The original one was a puppet, and it had somebody control it, moving it with the. You can move its little limbs with your fingers.
Well, yeah. Hope so. So I want one.
Yeah, I want one too. Even if it's still static, it's adorable.
Christmas is coming, yo.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh,
We're
goodness.
closer to Christmas than we were before. Buy us stuff.
That little toy standing in there looks evil. It is.
Can you
Pizza
imagine?
delivery.
You know what? And one of the things about the episode that I was really hoping for never happened because they decided to do the twist the way that they did the twist. But I was waiting for all these little GoBots to be like, there were hundreds of them, and there was no way. Like, if you could fight two of them, and you were like, okay, I killed one, and the other one was like, he was on his last legs or whatever. And then all of a sudden you see like 5 more ships come down. And it's like, okay, there are 10 of them. And that would be amazing. I thought it was just like, oh yeah, no, this old lady, she could take care of 2, but there are more coming. I thought that's what the twist was going to be. Not like, oh my gosh, I was wrong. They came from Earth all along.
Good song. Run, girl, run, says Roku.
No, just hit it with an axe. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, right. The tug of war with the paddle was cute.
I did like it when she beat the one human to death in her own blanket.
Oh, we'll do that. We'll watch that one later.
Okay.
This episode's amazing. I love it. And so it shows though that human is really strong to put up a fight with her.
Well, it's probably because of that awesome spacesuit.
Yeah. And in the struggle she gets her paddle back, but she knocks over the little lamp, so she's knocking over candles all over the place in this episode too.
When she was looking under the bed with the candle, I was like, are you trying to burn your house down?
Yeah, I said that multiple times.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Sorry, I'm late.
No, I mean, when I was watching the episode is what I meant. Oh, look at this. Look at the little guy with the little scissors. Oh, God. No, I think I like this episode too much.
Do you like it better than, not to poison the poll, you like this better than The Whole Truth?
Huh? Yes. Oh, wait. Here it goes. So the little guy stabs her with scissors.
Oh yeah, in the Achilles heel.
Mm-hmm. And so of course she tosses him, and rightly so. Now she's real. Now the giant is angry. B5.
Oh yeah, no, good work.
So she upgrades her paddle. This is her melee weapon progression in this episode. She upgrades her paddle to an axe.
My God, you're obsessed.
And then the little alien tricks her into grabbing the wooden stick.
Whenever you have the opportunity to like fantasize about, defeating an enemy, you always want to do it with like a bludgeon in your own hands. You're not a distance killer.
Yes.
Great. Moving on.
Anyway, you got the point of that. It kind of tricked her into grabbing the wooden thing and then stabbed her.
Them aliens
That
are
was-
wily.
It was kind of clever.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That was astronaut Colonel Baker. Chet Baker gave his life exploring a foreign country.
Actually, I think the episode does name him. We'll get it at the end. Yeah.
It's not Chet Baker. I made it up.
No, his name is, well, we'll find out.
Karl
I
Marx.
got a little bit to get through here.
Roscoe P. Coltrane.
This is where I thought she was going to set her bed on fire too.
Yeah,
I was
me
thinking
too.
that also.
But then the Vogon shows up. I still don't get the mouth hose.
The mouth hose?
Hello, welcome. Oh, here we are. Ruthless murder. Well, self-defense. It is self-defense.
He's still, he's got a knife himself and he's trying to get through.
That's not a knife. Now that is a knife. Poor little guy.
Yeah, poor little guy.
I guess
He's gone
he did
now.
go to an alien planet and start shooting at people, so he's not entirely innocent.
That's right. He did. And so there's there's more. There's a lot of stuff in the Mark Scott Zicree book for this one, so you can tell that he kind of likes this episode too.
Sure. Hey, PvP.
Hey, hello,
Wasn't
PvP.
bellypicker.ca. Yes, we did talk about Agnes Moorehead and how she was Andorra on The Bewitched.
Poor little guy be damned, says PvP.
Well, you explain it to his family.
So the director of photography, George Clemens, whose moody camera work adds immensely to the suspense. Most challenging to him was a scene in which Moorhead had to carry a candle from room to room, with the candle supposedly the only light source. I would say that was a problem, says Clemens. To truly make it look right, you have to visualize where your shadows change lights. Clemens put lights all over the set with dimmer switches and dimmer boys to work them. In that particular picture, I had to take over a couple of dimmers myself, being able to know just what I wanted and the time to make the moves. But I think I had about 6 dimmer boys, 6 lights, and all that had to be synchronized. One source would come up and the other would go out as she went from room to room. I was very happy with the result I was able to achieve because it looked real to me after I finally got it. And so that's a little insight into the lighting that's done for this episode. Very, very well done. I believed it too.
I think that one of the great things about the continuity and the unraveling of whatever this chick's name is, not Andorra, but I'm not the actress, but like I don't even know what the character's name is. Do you?
It's woman. She doesn't have a
okay,
name.
well, sure, I guess. And yeah, like I enjoy how both the costume and her hair sort of unravels as well, sort of providing tension to the audience visually as opposed to, and I love the music, but I'm just saying it's nice when the music and the visuals sort of intermix. And without the use of dialogue, I think that it is a partnership.
Yes.
Great.
And then, well, absolutely no.
No, I'm
And
not
somebody
fishing.
said
Just
earlier-
keep going. Just keep going. Fucking
Somebody
pedal.
said earlier,
Sorry about
someone
the swear.
said earlier that it's a lost art to have a great story without having any words.
Well, and that's why I like the beginning of I Am Legend. Like, I'm not a big advocate for the Will Smith, but I love how his performance is mostly just nuanced and physical. And this is similar. Although
Well, she just
I
killed
don't
one.
think that she's that good at it.
I think she's great.
I don't.
I think she's a lot of fun. And then a little guy blows a hole in the door.
Yeah,
Just
I
his
know,
size.
right? And then she's just waiting to whack it.
Yes.
Oh, she burns. She immolates one. She just burned an American astronaut in a box.
That's right. That's right. After she smashes him and probably already killed him, she
Yeah, he's
puts him
probably
in a
already dead.
box. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is probably already dead, but just for good measure, just in case he was only knocked out, she puts him in a box and puts the box to roast.
Yes.
To roast the
To
little
roast.
guy. Yeah.
Do you think she's planning to eat him?
Oh no, I don't. She was making a soup, and she is hungry, and it is an alien.
So maybe she's gonna eat him.
Oh,
He
I
is
don't
he
know.
is wrapped up like a baked potato.
I don't even want to think about that.
Well, I don't. Well, you know what? We don't see
Why
what
did
happens
you?
after.
You're
What?
sick.
Why? Yes, this is true. Your audience knows it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
But this whole episode is very primitive. It's very primal. The urge to survive, and that's why she kills him and sticks him in a box and roasts him. I don't think she intends to eat him.
We'll never know.
And like I said earlier, Richard Matheson says that doesn't like this episode. He said, I never liked it. I don't like it today. For one thing, I think it's incredibly slow moving. My script had twice as much incident as they used in the final version. It moved like a shot. The teaser alone of the woman cutting vegetables and then hearing the noise, it seemed like it takes forever to get her up to the roof.
It does.
Also, I thought those little roly-poly dolls were ridiculous looking.
Shut up, Richard Matheson. Buy me a roly-poly doll.
The way I had written it, you would only catch very quick views of them and never anything clear. To see these little things waddling across the floor was about as frightening as Peter Rabbit coming at you. So that's it. That's the author of the original story's opinion of the episode.
I think it would have been better served as a terrifying onslaught of little baked potatoes that were trying to take over the world. And it's like, oh my,
you wanted more. You wanted more.
Yeah, no, like, remember in the first Alien, there was only one. And then in the second Aliens, there was like a lot. And it's more scary when more come at you. And so I think if it was just an overwhelming, like going to Halo, if these little roly-poly baked potato people were like the flood, it would be terrifying. And then to find out that humanity killed this giant woman on an alien planet, and it's like, hooray, America won.
No, but that wouldn't make any sense because if it takes so much force.
This makes sense. Like, so far, the storytelling of this particular instance is totally rational. Yeah. What kind of side? No, but like, I guess that's why they have these inflatable spacesuits, because the gravity on that planet, considering how, like, what? Like, does that mean? So if you're little on a low gravity planet, you need to be weighted down. which is obviously what happened with the little baked potatoes. So, okay. Because if you're living on a planet where you're a giant, obviously gravity is going to be less so you can grow taller. So,
Well, and what happens is that in as we get to the end of this, it precludes any chance of a sequel because she climbs up on the roof
mhm.
and it looks like the alien is trying to escape with his spaceship. I thought, will she just let him go? But no, she
No, she's a murderous axe murderer.
yes, she gets the axe and she
But what
beats
would you
the
do?
heck out of
What would
this.
you do if you saw a little spaceship and they were like poking you with needles?
Yeah, that's true. I'd probably smash it too.
And you wouldn't even need an axe. You'd probably
But
just
you know
find a
what?
big book.
I would. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like squashing a bug.
Yeah.
Central control.
Oh yeah.
I do. Can I read it?
Central control. Yes, you may read central control.
All right.
Here you go.
I'll try. Best Air Force voice. Is it just the one?
That's it.
Okay. Central Control. Central Control. Come in. Central Control. Do you read me? Gresham is dead. Repeat. Gresham is dead. The ship's destroyed. Incredible race of giants here. You put something else in there. The ship's destroyed. Incredible race of giants here. Race of giants. No central control. No counterattack. Repeat. No counterattack. Too much for us. Too powerful. Stay away. Gresham and I, we're finished. Finished. Stay away. Stay away.
That's right. Because if it's too difficult to deal with this woman, there's no way they can take over. Like, there's no way they can invade the society at large.
Well, the weapons were like substandard. Like they showed up.
They didn't bring their best.
Well, like, what do they got? Like their little pew-pews on their adorable little baby fists. Like they didn't really do anything except mildly annoy and incapacitate, but they didn't do anything in regards to eliminating the enemy.
Yeah, they just basically gave her big old welts.
Yeah. So, like, literal mosquitoes.
Yes.
Maybe horseflies. You ever been bitten by a horsefly, Jill?
No.
My stars, it's painful.
So this is also from the companion. Although Matheson is no fan, The Invaders does have its admirers. One of those is Theodore Sturgeon.
Oh,
Theodore
good
Sturgeon.
for him. Teddy.
Yeah. Theodore Sturgeon. Mm-hmm. He said, I love the Twilight Zone. And I think of all the episodes, the one I like best was The Invaders. Years ago, a producer happened to be a very block producer, but he knew what he was talking about. Said that if a blind man sits in front of a television set listening to a drama, he can tell you afterwards what it was about. Then the director, the producer, the writer, and everybody else have failed. Likewise, if a deaf man watches a television show and could tell you what the whole thing was about, then it has succeeded. This is the way of underlining the fact that it's a visual medium. Well, Matheson wrote that one without one word of dialogue. There were some grunts and screams in it, but no dialogue whatsoever. And it really and truly came to fruition as the kind of visual medium that it is. And that's what Theodore Sturgeon has to say about this episode.
3 out of 5. Unsubscribed.
To who? What are you talking about?
Theodore Sturgeon.
Hmm.
No, you know what? I just said something inflammatory without actually having listened.
Well, he's a great science fiction author, so his opinion means something.
Sure. Is he going to buy me one of the toys from this episode?
Probably not. But I mean, also he's a Star Trek writer.
Yeah,
He
no,
wrote.
I know Teddy.
Yeah, that's hot. He wrote Shore Leave and Amok Time.
Yeah. Well, co-wrote. DC Fontana had some stuff to do with Amok Time.
Right. Agreed. And so we've got.
So they bust up the Frisbee.
PvP says hi. And
hey.
Yeah, they did. Oh, did I have more? No, that was it.
That's it?
Wait.
It's over?
No.
No, I guess I read the last survivor of the Nostromo, so we're good.
Yeah, exactly. For many years. Okay, so Douglas Hayes. Yeah, he made toys. There are toys. Let's see.
Oh, PvP. I like this episode and done with the negativity. Bye.
There's no
I
negativity.
don't think I'm being negative. I think I'm just being.
Okay, well, we don't have to read.
I just want to acknowledge.
Either.
I don't think I'm being negative. I just think I'm being playful. Maybe I'm bruising the peaches.
Don't go to another planet if you can't handle the smoke. Astronaut barbecue, says Greek letters Larson.
Somebody explain to me the mouth tube.
Uh-oh.
What's going on?
The mouth tube.
Yeah, on the little baked potato. Why do you have a mouth tube from your face to your belly button?
All right. You explain.
Get a picture of the spacesuit again. I'm not making this up. I did not imagine this.
Okay, let me bring it back.
DJ Play Nice says he has to roll out. Thanks for hosting, Jill. And have an awesome afternoon.
All right. Thank you so much for catching that, because I'm behind in the chat. Thank you, DJ Play Nice, for hanging out. I'm glad you're here.
Rock.
If there's anything you want to say about, you wanted to see the little guys again? Here they are.
Yeah, no, I just want to see the little guy. And I want to know, not that little guy.
That little guy.
That little guy. I want to see him again. What is with this? No, not her. She's adorable, but you know, she played Andorra on Bewitched. No, but like seriously, why is there a mouth tube? Is that like a filtration service? Like, is the oxygen breathable?
For breathing, yeah. I'm guessing they have to wear the spacesuits, or they would die on this planet. Like, they can't handle.
Do you think that
whatever the air is?
No, I can't express how adorable I believe that this little he's a little matza. I love him. I want one of these, and I kind of want him to be plush, but hard plastic in places, especially the mouth tube. Every time I describe this guy to anybody, they're going to be like, I think Scott's weird. So I want this. I'm going to have to describe it for Christmas. Have you ever seen the Twilight Zone episode? The Invaders? No, I haven't. Well, you have to get me a doll from the Invaders. Looks like a baked potato with some sort of mouth hose. Scott's weird. Why does it should be a backpack? It should be an over-the-shoulder thing, like a scuba tank. But instead, it looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man with a radiator on his chest that he needs to ingest.
Well, and maybe it's in the front and not the back, because they have to use the back for the puppeteer to be able to.
Maybe it's a balance thing. Oh no, I think that they were actual like toys. I think that they were actually
Yes.
physical little waka.
They were absolutely, yeah, I was talking about that earlier, that they are very
Nice.
physical, and that's why she's able to toss them around.
Can you imagine if you went to a Halloween party dressed as one of these things? It would be difficult to get into through doors, into bathrooms. Terrible.
That's true. You'd know what it's like to be on My 600-Pound Life.
Yes.
Jacob Ironside said she was the voice of the goose in Charlotte's Web. And so that's great. I really love Charlotte's Web.
She dies, right?
Charlotte? Yes.
Yes.
Daniel's Hot Topic says the aliens in this episode are so cheap. Did they have to use astronaut toys?
They
They
wanted
could have
to
used small people in green alien suits.
No, but the point is that you had to obscure the fact that they were from Earth. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've never seen the episode,
And-
Daniel. Sorry, spoilers. No, these are humans in these spacesuits. These ridiculous fucking I'm Grimace spacesuits. Sorry about the swear. I still want one. I think it's incredible.
I don't think they're cheap. I think they're lovely.
cheap either. Yeah. No, I think they're great. That's why I'm so upset. Like when PvP says I don't like the negativity, I'm just pointing out how I think it is adorable. It's quaint. It is a situation of its time, but it's
very
adorable.
creative.
Yeah.
The director had immense creativity to come up with what he did, with the story that he was given. And I can't wait to read the actual story and see how it's different.
I gotta. Yeah, what's the name of that
Yeah,
story?
I'll find
again?
it. Yeah, I still don't know.
Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat who knows the complete works of Richard Matheson?
Oh my goodness, I'll bring up my Kindle book. It'll tell me.
Oh no, not a Kindle book. Isn't that like saying tuna fish? Like you can just say Kindle. We know what's on the Kindle, mostly books. Oh no, I have Arkanoid. Shut up, Milhouse.
Okay, so I'm going all the way back to the beginning here. The Invaders. Let's see if I can find it. I know it's original score
It's under
by
Richard
Gary
Matheson.
Goldsmith. Teleplay. The teleplay was by Richard Matheson. So he wrote
Yeah, he wrote a lot. This is when it turns into a needle in a haystack.
Okay, so the earliest documented origin began with the progress report. Okay, so
Is
he
the Earth
titled-
cooling in this description?
The
earliest?
I'm trying.
It's a story. Okay,
I'm
fair
trying
enough.
to find something I'm trying to find what's relevant, and so I'm skipping around.
No, that makes sense. That sounds
As
like Richard
Matheson-
Matheson.
As Matheson told Stanley Wader in his commentary for Prey in his collected stories, I had originally submitted the story, or at least similar premise, to the Twilight Zone, and they rejected it because they thought it was too grim. So I turned it into a science fiction story, and it became the Invaders. That's why I don't know what it is.
It was never previous. So this is kind of like
Devil Doll. It was called Devil Doll at first.
Oh, good. I wonder if there's a completed version of that.
But that's not the
story.
same. That's not the same as this story. You know
Well,
what?
Devil
You know
Doll,
what it is?
It sounds similar.
Scotty, I
What?
figured.
What? Are you going to explain this benzite?
No, I can't.
What happened? What happened?
Oh, here we are. Here it is. Later on, I wrote the premise as a short story called Prey, and Playboy bought it. Published in Playboy in April 1969 and adapted by Richard himself in the segment Amelia in the TV movie Trilogy of Terror. The story tells of a woman terrorized in her apartment by a fetish doll possessed by the spirit of a Zuni warrior.
Oh no, my fleshlight
Okay.
is attacking me.
Oh my god. I'm
Well,
even
that's
more
what it
confused
sounds
now.
like.
I'm even more confused now. So PvP said, so they attacked her and invaded her home, and we're supposed to feel sorry for them due to the twist ending as they are Americans.
Humans.
Oh no, of course. No, she's totally I never said that she's not in her rights to smash them. Of
Yeah.
course they attacked her. I don't know where I ever said.
No,
Well,
I was
I
the
am
one who
sympathetic.
was being human centrist.
I I am a bit sympathetic just because they're adorable. They're adorable little munchkins attacking her, and so it's it's just I'm just having fun with it, but I do understand why
I just
she
I
kills
just
them.
wish
And
I
she's
just
done
wish the end of the episode was like hundreds of these little guys taking over the planet.
Agnes did nothing wrong.
No, Agnes did nothing wrong.
Entropy Manor says the astronauts would look way less threatening in bunny costumes. Yeah. Yeah, that would make it even worse.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting
And,
astronauts.
and PvP understands Matheson's point. Yes. Yeah, they are. What the
Oh,
hell kind
sure.
of potatoes does Scotty buy?
The ones with arms and legs.
Looks like meat's back on the menu.
I think that's
Oh god. Jacob Ironside.
yeah. Like if people were smaller than you, like if they were the size
Yeah,
of a
I do
baked
too.
potato, would you eat a small person? Like not a little person, but like a person who was like 3 apples tall, the size of a Smurf.
Bet Jill is wondering why I'm hanging out. It's Canada Day, so not working.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
I'm
Happy
glad you're hanging
Canada
out.
Day.
Yeah, happy Canada Day. Worse than giants, old angry woman, truly terrifying. Oh my god.
See, that's funny. Like it's I don't know. I have a perception of my own existence. And I have to check myself to be like, oh, wait, like the term MILF used to refer to like an older woman in her 40s, maybe 50s. And I was like, oh, she's an attractive older woman. And then I have to remember my stars. I'm the same age. So what do I call them? I guess just women. So yeah. It's funny how your differentiation. It's like, oh no, I caught up to the definition.
PG says deliberately going about and annoying old ladies is actually a long established hobby.
Well, that's why I go to the retirement home to find the next Mrs. R37.
Mm-hmm. Agree that few episodes tell a story without dialogue. Well, when I was a kid, when I was 4 years old, my favorite cartoon was Tom and Jerry. And it largely didn't have dialogue, and I enjoyed it.
See,
Gavin,
that's interesting. That is interesting because, like, I'm not. Do you like the Three Stooges?
I never really watched it. I
Fair
know
enough.
of it, and I've seen some segments, but not full episodes.
Like, I do like visual slapstick comedy. It's just never been my favorite. I've always enjoyed wit over physical.
Well, I was 4 years old. Gavin Blackbird says, woman finds husband's collectible model.
You told me you were born 40. You lied to me.
Oh, DJ Knight has to go in a few minutes. If you've
All right.
gone already, I'll see you later.
Me too. I gotta go soon.
PG says it takes the planet's atmosphere and converts it to the air for the astronauts to breathe inside the suit.
Oh, I like
Is that
that.
plausible?
Yeah, no, I
Yes.
like that. Exactly. That's why they're silver. It's because they're probably going
Oh, they're
for a
gold.
little bit of absorption,
According
whether
to
it
the
be
notes,
light.
they're gold. They're gold.
Are they gold?
Yes.
Just like
Although
a
if you
baked
buy it,
potato.
it's silver because black and white.
Well, you can paint it.
This was fun.
I like it. I thought it was okay.
Mhm. JD Lewis says, well, Richard Matheson disliked this episode. Sci-fi author Theodore Sturgeon loved this episode. Yes. Yes, he did.
And
And so do
Harlan
I.
Ellison asked for money for this episode.
Well, and I do remember watching it for the first time and being surprised by the little guys being human. It really did surprise me.
Like, I want one. Now I don't even just want the little toy. I want 7 of them. And also, I want a Halloween costume.
Mhm.
But I still need somebody to explain the mouth hose.
But these are well, he just did. Didn't we get a good explanation from Peachy?
No.
It takes the planet's atmosphere and converts it to air for the astronauts.
No, it's not about what it does. It's just the stylistic choice.
Oh,
Look
I
at
told
it,
you.
Jill.
I told you that the production reason for that is because they're puppets, and the puppets had to stick their hands in the back of the.
It had to be interesting.
alien.
Instead of looking like little baked potatoes, they had to have something on the front. If it was a backpack, you couldn't see it. But what I'm saying is, it's very, I don't know. Won't anyone think of the children?
Okay, Sigvaldson says, I just remembered this episode. I felt sorry for this woman. I also didn't understand why those U.S. astronaut space soldiers attacked her. They made no attempt to communicate. I had this problem too. And I was just so absorbed with how cute they were, I kind of let it go. But thank you for reminding me of this. They made no attempt to communicate. Maybe they were from the mirror universe, right? Yeah. Why is the U.S. just trying to invade another planet?
Well, because
like
of the
this?
giant potatoes.
They want the giant potatoes
They want the giant potatoes.
to solve world hunger.
That's right. I don't know what the big deal is.
How are they gonna? Okay, I guess they had.
Well, no, you send a
get a
scout
small-
ship, and then more people come with the trucks.
Yes, yeah, you're gonna need a bigger ship for the potatoes.
Yes, Bud the Spud from the white red mud, driving down the highway, smiling.
I think we're turning this into a movie accidentally. Sigvaldson says, Scotty, I wouldn't eat anyone sentient. So no, I wouldn't eat smaller people. Yeah, me neither.
Fair enough. I don't know. It depends on if they're,
Although
depends if they make me mad.
Great rewatch today. Goodbye, everybody. JD Lewis, thank you so much. Thank you so much
See you,
for
JD.
talking about the Twilight Zone with us. Your comments were very helpful and awesome. Can't wait to see you again next time.
Someone send JD Lewis an invader. I think that's a thing that we should really start doing for this community. We should
invader
start
for
sending
everybody.
everyone you get an invader. And the thing is that it's kind of a double-edged sword. And it's like, oh, this is so nice. Someone sent me an invader. And then it's like, oh, no, it's an invader. Someday they'll come to life and destroy us all. But as long as we all have one, it'll be like maybe we can train them to be on our side.
PG quotes Dr. Seuss. A person's a person, no matter how small. And that's right. That's from Dr. Seuss. That's from it's the one with the elephant who finds a little
Horton Hears a Who.
Horton Hears a Who, yeah. And so they're on.
I do like it. I was gonna be cynical, man.
The Who's are
Pete, I
on the
was gonna,
little flower.
yeah. And everyone calls Horton a weirdo because he's like, oh, I hear this Who.
They think he's talking
And
to himself. Yeah.
yeah, he thinks he's insane. They think he's insane. And likely
But
he
in the
was.
end, no. In the end, he's proven
Do they get like a
correct.
magnifying glass?
Yeah. And well, essentially, yeah. What happens is that they finally do believe him because they're revealed.
Who do they believe?
The Horton. This is a
About
very
who?
profound episode, and it depicts the U.S. as invaders. Oh, Greek letters. Yeah, no, and it makes no sense. I don't think that the U.S. would actually just go to a planet and just like, oh, this is ours now. But I like what Scotty said about stealing the giant potatoes. We just need to.
We just want your
They
potatoes.
really could. They really could solve world hunger with giant.
Don't tell that to the
vegetables.
Irish. And also, the French need more fries.
They just wanted some soup.
Potato soup?
Hmm.
Have you ever had potato bacon soup? It's actually quite nice.
No.
I prefer a nice tomato bisque, tomato goat cheese bisque. That is my favorite. Although you do need bread and butter with it, simply because the tomato becomes a little acidic. I like to add a little bit of sugar just to cut that acidity. But if you're looking for a lovely potato soup, I would say a potato bacon is very nice. And if you do grate a little bit of American or cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar cheese on top of it, and again with like a little bit of a bread on the side, good times. And that's all this woman was trying to do, just trying to make a little potato soup.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had to get up for just a second. I'm back
Yeah,
now.
well, I gotta go. I'm busy.
And well, I gotta go too. That's why I turned on the lights or the color.
right.
I turned on the color.
I should do that too.
We're all busy. We're all very busy. They just wanted some soup. Thanks, all. Fun as usual. Bye. I'll see you later, PG. I enjoyed hanging out with you too. And so that's all we have for today for this Twilight Zone. I hope you enjoyed.
What are we doing on Friday?
On Friday, The Last Navigator.
Flight of the Navigator.
Flight of the Navigator. Flight of the Navigator. Oops.
Great,
Anyway,
let's go.
I'm having a day.
Yeah, it's me too. It's cool. See you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Well, okay. Bye, Scotty.
PG, Jill's Notebots, JD Lewis, Sigvaldison, Eraserhead.
Oh, I thought you were leaving. Okay.
Well, no, I'm just
So
yelling
thanks
names
again for thanks. Yeah, well, thanks to everyone for being so amazing in the panel, and everyone being Scotty R37, and then everyone in the chat being the names that Scotty was just randomly yelling without any kind of preamble.
Didn't even finish. Canadian Spider-Man, Pleasant Valley Picker.
Did we say Sigvaldison? I wasn't sure where we were. Eraserhead.
Courtney's Collection of Oddballs, Gavin Blackburn. Daniel's Hot Topics, Brogu. DJ Knight,
JD
DJ Lewis, JD Lewis, and JD Knight.
And Pete G.
Matt G.
Goku. I don't know what name's been said or not said.
No, I know. I'm just doing it random. It's Canada Day. I'm at a party.
Eris 218. Jacob Ironside.
Jake.
Okay. So
Swift.
So thanks everybody.
Eris.
I hope to see you again next. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to
Tuesday?
read the
That's
preview.
kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, no, I know. I say that on purpose. That's a joke. Preview for I forgot to read the previews for next time. Preview for next week's
All
story.
right, I don't have
Next
to
week.
stick around for the previews. I'll see you in
Yeah,
a bit.
okay. Yeah, please. See ya. Preview for next week's story. Wait, let me fix this. I don't like it this way. There, that's better. So, the preview for next week's story. Next week, on this very spot, there commences a very kooky chain of occurrences. The story has to do with a young bank clerk who, for some unexplained and most uncanny reason, finds himself able to read other people's minds and then finds that the power can get him into a peck of trouble and a bushel of travail. Our show is called A Penny for Your Thoughts, and it'll be here waiting for you next week on the Twilight Zone. And also next week, this is Room 22. And on the other side of its doors lies an adventure that is as fascinating as it is inexplicable. It's a story that comes to us from Mr. Bennett Kerf, who is who describes it as an old age horror tale whose origin is unknown. We've dressed it up in some hospital wrappings and enlisted the performance of Miss Barbara Nichols. Next time on the Twilight Zone. 22. Be prepared to be spooked. It's that kind of story. Yeah. So, yes, definitely thank you to everybody who was here. It was really, really great talking to you. I can't wait to talk to you next time. And yes, Friday is Flight of the Navigator. And Racerhead says, take care. And Sigvaldison says, Flight of the Navigator, a Twilight Zone episode. It sounds like one. That's, well, it's a movie, and we're going to talk about it on Friday. On the 4th of July. There is an hour-long breakdown about the special effects in Flight of the Navigator. Wow, an hour-long breakdown. That here on YouTube. Wow. Okay, I guess I got to check that out. Great show later, y'all. Yeah, thanks, Jacob. I think I'm gonna share my screen and play. What did I want to play? Oh yeah, I'll play the Canada the Canada clip. Well, the Saturday Night Live Twilight Zone clip again to finish this off. And there we are. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, not even something new to carry on.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the
things. Go outside. Get some food.
It's like, you know, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
So there you have it. Sometimes what is beautiful to one is not beautiful to another. As this woman learned when she didn't really learn anything. And neither did we. Frankly, usually I try to have some kind of ironic twist or moral in these things, but I got nothing this time because that woman was hot.
But if he's the devil, how do you keep him locked up?
With the staff for truth. The one barrier he cannot pass.